Good morning. It's Monday, January 28th at around 8 o'clock. Had an interesting turn of events when, after around 9 o'clock last night, my dad called and acted like our argument never happened. He was just very calm. He was very much, I need you to do me a favor and check on the loan, and they're gonna call it. And I told him, well, Dad, I've explained to you 4 or 5 times that I've been trying to get caught up with it, and that you're gonna keep getting letters until I get caught up with it. And he's like, oh yeah, but I need you to call and check on it. I said, well, I called and left you a message earlier this week saying that it would be caught up and that the payment was still scheduled out as far as it could go, and it should be taken care of this week. Did you not get that? Did you forget? I mean, really, half of why I was so stressed out this week and so anxiety ridden was the fact that, you and I had a huge argument on top of everything, and then you act like it doesn't even happen. Like, it didn't even happen. It's like, did you forget? Or do you honestly just ignoring the fact that I was angry? Or what? Um, my dad's doctor says he has early onset dementia. He's in his 70s, so I don't know how early that actually is, but I have no idea. I have no idea if my stepmom really erased my message and didn't tell him. Which I wouldn't put it past her. I have no idea if he just forgot that we had the conversation, and I'm upset. I don't know what to do with this. It's just a really difficult spot for me to be in because I don't know how to act if he's really forgetting things. If he's just ignoring it, I'm angry. If my stepmom deleted the message, I'm pissed. And I'm glad he called because I was gonna be stubborn and I wasn't gonna call him. I'm gonna be like, screw you. You were rude to me the day after my cat passed away, and you raised your voice at me, and I'm not gonna call you. But it was just the whole conversation was a little strange, just a little bizarro. Like earlier this week didn't happen when, for me, it was a huge stressor and a huge bump up in my anxiety when we had a conversation because my dad is usually the one I call when I get upset and need to be calmed down. He's a huge part of my life, and he's a huge calming force. And part of my anxiety being so through the roof was that I didn't have that this week. And so him to just call and act like nothing happened is just really disconcerting to me. But at least he called, and at least we're talking. It was civil. I explained to him what happened, and he said good and thank you. And I'm like, okay, and we'll move on from it. But like I said, it's just really bizarre and really strange the way it happens. So I don't know what to do with that. I'll put it away and deal with it later. Um, tonight, this evening, this afternoon, 4 o'clock ish, I have an interview with someone who works for my mom. He's the VP of marketing. My mom is the chief operating officer of a medical startup company, and she gave him my address, email address, and we're gonna talk about possibly working on their website. Now, I've worked for my mom before. I've worked directly for my mom before. I've worked for a company my mom ran before. The latter, working for my mom, was an absolute disaster. It was stressful. I will never do that again. But working for someone who works for my mom, I could be interested in. It'd be about a month's work. They need their website redone. I don't know what'll come of it. They have someone that they're not particularly happy with. Um, and this is an exploratory call. I made very, 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 very sure he did not know that she was my mother. I never would want to put someone in this situation to feel like they have to hire me. I don't care if it comes out afterwards that she's my mother, but I want to be hired on the merits of 15 years of experience if he's going to hire me. I don't want to be hired and be thinking in the back of my head, did he hire me because Georgina's my mother, or did he hire me because he wanted to work with me? It's just not worth it. And the great thing is my mom is remarried, so we don't have the same last name anymore. We haven't for like, I don't know, 20 years or so, close to it. Um, so that's extremely helpful in terms of being able to distance myself from our personal relationship, and she can speak to my business skills and my design skills because I have worked for her in that capacity. So I don't feel like she's lying to get me a job either. But it's always a really, really awkward situation. I'm glad for the opportunity to get to work because I could use the work right now. Straight up, I could use the work right now, no doubt about it. So, we'll see how it goes. It's definitely an awkward situation when she emailed me and I'm like, hey, as a freelancer, you can't turn down work, but as a daughter, you don't want to get entangled in that mess. So, fortunately, it wouldn't be reporting directly to her. It would be working with someone who works directly for her. He seemed like a great guy. He seemed, very exploratory. He wanted to make sure I understood that. So we'll see how it goes today. And later on this week, I have finally, after like 6 months of waiting, have another appointment with my rheumatologist, and he's gonna get an earful tomorrow. I'm so pissed at the way it's been handled. Showed up for 2 appointments, and his office staff said, "Oh, well, didn't you get the letter? Oh, didn't you get the letter? We had to reschedule you because we're going to electronic records. Oh, didn't you get the letter?" And then I get the letter 3 days afterwards. 3 days after I call, like literally, they probably put it in the mail the same day. I'm not happy. I'm in a lot of pain in my neck, in my hand, in my knee, in my ankle, and I've had to wait. And I actually did go in and sit in the office and say, I will not leave until I get seen. That's how you have to be seen in that office. And I love my doctor. I love my rheumatologist. He's incredibly thorough. He's very responsive to the things I want to do. He doesn't bat his eye and look at me sideways when I tell him I want to run a marathon or start martial arts. He really is supportive of that as long as I'm, not in pain. He's not one of those doctors who says, you can't do that. You have arthritis. But at the same time, his office staff is an absolute freaking train wreck. I can't handle this anymore. I need to be seen when I need to be seen. And I understand there's going to be times and waits, but you need to have urgent appointments for people when they're flaring up. I live with a chronic pain condition. I need to know that I can see my doctor when I'm hurting. And it took me, the last time I had a flare, it took me 3 days to get in and get a shot. And that was only because I was a total bitch about it. And this doesn't work for me. And he can be the greatest doctor in mankind, but if his office staff is a train wreck and doing this to me, it doesn't work for me. It straight up doesn't work for me. I'm not happy. I'm gonna get in and I'm gonna start looking for another rheumatologist, but they're all overbooked, so I don't know what I'm gonna get. And it may just be I come back to him. He's right around the corner from my apartment, and he's actually a really good doctor. Um, and but I need to have a conversation. My last 4 appointments, which means all of last year, that happened to me. Oh, did you get our appointments that we rescheduled for you? Didn't you get a call? No, I didn't, and I wasted 2 days of work and then 2 days of looking for work, coming in for that to happen. And I fortunately live around the corner. There are some people who come in from Sacramento. There are some people that I've met in the office that come in from Oregon even to see him. So I know he's a great doctor, but he needs to get his office staff together because this is not acceptable care, and he's going to hear about it tomorrow. I'm hoping he'll put me on something that's a little easier to swallow. Right now I'm on sulfasalazine. They're about that big. They're about that big. I have to take 3 of them 3 times a day, so I have to take 9 of these suckers a day. I have a really, really hard time swallowing when my arthritis flares up, because the muscles in the lining of my throat also gets irritated and inflamed. I have gagged, I have puked, these things suck. They're basically like industrial strength aspirin. And I have had stomach problems on them. I'm on another medication to keep the medication side effects at bay. And there's got to be something better I can take that will make the fatigue and the pain go away. For me, my arthritis shows up more as fatigue lately than pain, but the pain has definitely been there as well. I've been having problems. I don't know if you can see. Kind of hard to see, but fingers are swollen. Um, Ankle has been really bad. I fortunately haven't had to walk with my cane, or I'm too stubborn to walk with my cane. I haven't figured out which one that is yet. Probably a little bit of both. Probably more of the latter. I'm really extremely stubborn, and I hate the looks I get when I walk with my cane. I hate feeling disabled, even though I am. When I have to walk with my cane, I'm disabled. I don't feel disabled any other time. But when I have to walk with my cane, feel extremely, extremely disabled and feel extremely, extremely vulnerable. And certain times I felt not safe, like someone could come up and take my bag off my back and I couldn't do anything about it. So I would rather not walk with it. I would rather walk in braces. Braces I can hide under except for my wrist braces, you would never know I wear braces. I wear flare pants and boots, and when I'm wearing my braces, you can't unless I have to wear my wrist braces. And even when I wear my wrist braces, I wear fingerless gloves over them, so you really, really, really can't see any of my braces. I try really, really hard to be normal. I think that's just a part of having dealt with it for God, 30 years of my life now, that I don't like to draw attention to myself when I'm hurting. I'm in pain, I'm grumpy, I don't want to deal with people. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna walk around with a cane and all these braces on that you can see. So I'm really particularly careful with that stuff. My knee brace is a little harder to cover and hide, but most of the time, the only thing you would notice is if I took off my gloves for any reason. I have a pair of gloves that were made directly for wearing over my braces. They were custom made, and then I have a pair that were made to keep my hands warm and my joints warm that weren't. And so I wear them all the time, so it doesn't look weird that I don't when I put them on. It doesn't look different. Um, and I live in San Francisco, so it's cold. I live near San Francisco, so it's cold most of the year here. I live near, kind of near the water. So um, it's definitely something that I try to do to keep looking, to act like a 30-something-year-old, which I'm not going to tell you, but 30-something-year-old instead of an 80-something-year-old walking in hobbled over. And I try really hard, but there's days I have to. There's days I have to walk with my cane, and I hate them. I absolutely hate them. So, today is Monday, which means I gotta hit the job thing. It's 8 o'clock. It's getting a little later start than I wanted to, but I was able to roll over and go back to sleep when these four-legged little boogers decided to wake me up. I got a little ear nibble, and not the kind I wanted, but, four-legged will do until two-legged comes along. We're settling into our new routines pretty well. Everybody's kind of still all over the place, but, all over the place in different ways than they were with Newton, so. Today's portfolio day. I'm going to polish and finish that thing if it kills me today because I'm so behind. So much of my work isn't in there, and it's really, really killing me. It's really, really killing me in how much I'm behind and how much isn't in my portfolio that I've done in the last year. So I think that'll make me a little more marketable. I'm going to look for work. I talked to Mom's VP of marketing. And we'll see what the rest of the day holds. As you can tell, I'm still in my robe. Need to shower, need to put some makeup on, need to get out of the house. I told myself I was going to get out of the house every day this week. Trying not to self-isolate. Anxiety is still there. First thing in the morning, it seems like once I get going, it's okay. Trying not to rely on that Ativan. I haven't taken one in like 3 or 4 days. I think talking to Dad last night was really helpful in calming that, but it's still there starting in the morning. Just getting out of bed. It's just like, gotta get going, gotta get going. I'm hoping when I get some work under my belt, get the unemployment sorted and know what's going on with that I can relax a little, that I can settle in. I'm a little stressed about money. Money's going to be really, really tight until one of those things happens. Fortunately, my rent is paid till April. I'm going to start doing that with my freelance money. Just take the $12.50 out of each paycheck I get moving forward and pay down my rent. I'm hoping when I get my next job, I'll be able to pay my rent till June or July. Trying to get ahead of things a little bit. And again, 2013, I don't think I've said this on video yet, is the year of stability for me and starting to act like a grown up a little more than I have been. I've been really fairly irresponsible up to this point in my life, with my money, with my finances, with my time, pretty much everything. I've kind of just avoided growing up on some level, and I really don't know why. I really don't know why. I really just decided that not growing up is kind of the way I wanted to live my life. I don't. I mean, it's not totally irresponsible. I've kept a roof over my head for 5, 6 years on my own. I helped keep a roof over my head for 5 or 6 years before that. Before that, I relied a lot on my boyfriend, and I think a lot of this stems from people telling me that they need to take care of me, rather than telling me I can take care of myself. Um, I think for me, being sick has been a blessing and a curse. Being sick from such a young age because so many people coddled me. And this year for me is all about getting away from that and standing really strongly on my own 2 feet, not leaning on my dad when money gets tight. Being a responsible adult, getting this, getting out of all this debt I'm in by probably filing bankruptcy. Look at that settlement too, but once I get working, um, but just finally at 30, growing up. That's my goal this year. And I'm taking steps towards it every day, and that's the important thing. And I think, you know, back and forth about this full time job thing, but I think, even though it's not what I want to do, it's what I need to do to show people I'm serious about being a grown up. And I don't like the thought of it. I don't like the thought of it at all. I really don't. It really sucks for me to think I'm going to be a wage slave, and not be able to build my own destiny and be that way. But I figure if I get a year of that under my belt, I can go back to consulting and really focus on getting my feet under me and saving up some money and doing all the things you can't do as a consultant. You live hand to mouth as a consultant a lot of times because you don't know when the money is going to come in. So that's kind of where I'm at. It's not what I want to do, it's what I have to do. And as an adult, you have to do things you don't want to do. So that's kind of where I'm at. Oh, excuse me. Kitty cats. Causing my allergies to go nuts. So that's pretty much my day. We'll see how it goes.